We have some breaking NFL news that might have an impact to Brandon Aiyuk and what his contract will be when it's all said and done. If you haven't seen already, Lions wide receiver Amon-Ra St. Brown has signed a 4-year, $120 million contract with $77 million guaranteed, which makes him the highest paid wide receiver in the NFL right now, supplanting Tyreek Hill, who currently holds that record. And the thing about this that's crazy is Justin Jefferson hasn't been paid and CeeDee Lamb hasn't been paid. And both those guys are going to make more than Amon-Ra St. Brown. And so obviously this ties into the Brandon Aiyuk situation because the market is the market. And right now we're seeing how the market is developing. And depending on how you feel, and I'm curious, let me know in the comments. Do you think Brandon Aiyuk is better than Amon-Ra St. Brown? Do you think they're on the same tier? Or is Brandon Aiyuk a little bit below Amon-Ra? Let me know in the comments what you guys think about that. But the point of this is that this is what's setting the standard of what Brandon Aiyuk is going to get paid.
So let's look at the Brandon Aiyuk deal now. If he's get traded,
Yeah.
whatever team trades for him is now not only giving up whatever the draft capital was going to be for the trade, but also signing a $30 million a year deal, basically. Is that how this goes?
Probably yes. It might not be immediate. Sometimes, like when Montez Sweat got traded, he did during the season. He got traded and then did an extension like 4 days later. So that's possible. But if you're trading for Brandon Aiyuk, then you know that a deal is coming. And actually, I don't know if a deal is going to get done. I know the 49ers would like it. I know there are definitely other teams interested in paying some draft capital. I know the 49ers would like a one. I don't know that another team is there yet. But I think the main thing is the market is getting more defined by the day. Yeah, the Devontae Smith deal, that's $25 million per year in new money. This one will probably, for the first 3 years, end up at around 28 per year in new money over the first 3 years. The market is pretty well defined if the 49ers are able to get done a Brandon Aiyuk deal.
For the majority of this offseason, I have talked about the sweet spot for BA getting paid, being in the average range of 28 to $26 million per year on average, depending on multiple different things, but just gauging the market, seeing where it was, and kind of looking ahead. And honestly, Amon-Ra St. Brown's deal and rumors about this deal a couple months ago is kind of where I landed there. And now he gets paid. He gets 30. It was reported that he had wanted between somewhere in the range of 25 to 30. And so I was like, well, if this is what Amon-Ra is going for, I would imagine the same for BA. Well, it's done. And he gets 30. And now we don't have all the full contract details. So we don't, there's a lot more that goes into these contracts than just, years total and that guaranteed money. There's more finite details that really paint the full picture. But regardless of that, the point is that how does this impact Brandon Aiyuk and what he's going to get paid? And one of the hesitations that I've had for waiting to pay Brandon Aiyuk is the fact that by waiting, um, the market is going to keep rising as these wide receivers continue to get paid. I mean, we saw it in free agency. We saw Jerry Jeudy get in the range of $19 million per year. We saw Calvin Ridley get in the range of $23 million per year. And you would think that, well, maybe if the 49ers got a in-season contract extension done or right at the end, that maybe you'd actually save a little bit of money by being ahead of the curve. But we also understand that's not the SOP for how the 49ers operate in regards to contracts. They like to push it all the way till training camp. But again, the problem with that is you still have two elite wide receivers up for contracts that haven't been paid yet that are going to completely reset the market. So when you look at this, you're like, well, JJ is not getting anything less than $35 million per year on average. And then CeeDee Lamb's going to be right there, either next to him or behind him. And so when you're looking at what BA is, his price went up. That's really what I'm looking at it as. And we saw that bombshell report come out from Mike Silver yesterday that was chocked full with tons of sourced information from front office executives with the 49ers, general managers across the league, just so many different people speaking on the Brandon Aiyuk situation. And this is just another thing that I don't think helps the situation. Um, because in one of the main points in Mike Silver's piece that he did, he was talking about how the 49ers and Brandon Aiyuk are far apart in negotiations right now. And I would only imagine this is going to make it even more far apart. Because, like I said, this is what dictates the market, not what the San Francisco 49ers are offering. So, what does this mean? This just means, again, the hope, we all understand what the hope is. The hope is that BA is here, stays, gets paid. That's the hope. But the tone, the energy, the vibes coming out right now, I would say are not ideal. I even think when you have TJ Hushmanzada going on the radio and saying Brandon Aiyuk doesn't want to get traded, he just wants to get paid, and you have nonstop report that continues to refute that Brandon Aiyuk has requested a trade, because I don't think he has. And again, I think a lot of this social media posturing has just been leverage plays, trying to, play the game and hopefully get the 49ers to acquiesce and get it done. But it does sound like the 49ers could very well be looking at other options. So we'll see. We'll have to see. I'm of the belief that it could go either way. If Brandon Aiyuk gets traded on draft night, I can't sit here and say I'm going to be absolutely flabbergasted and shocked that that happened. With how everything has been leading up to this offseason, I would be disappointed. I would be very hurt by it. I love Brandon Aiyuk. He's one of my favorite players on the team. That's my guy. So that would suck from that standpoint. And I think he gives the 49ers the best chance to get back to the Super Bowl. So that would suck on multiple levels. It's not something I want, but it is an outcome that we just have to be potentially prepared for. Doesn't mean it's going to happen, because another team has to come to the table. And everything that we heard from that article was the 49ers are asking for a lot in return, which they should. I don't think you move Brandon Aiyuk for anything less than what he's worth. Um, so it's going to be fascinating. Again, we're one day closer to resolution, one day closer to not having to go through these reports anymore, and these conversations, which I know you guys are very well looking forward to. I'm looking forward to not having to talk about this situation anymore. Um, but with all that being said, I have to give my opinion and my thoughts on it, and how this impacts Brandon Aiyuk and maybe separates the contract extensions even further apart now that the market is continuing to rise. Um, Listen, man, I hope we get through the draft tomorrow. We get through the first round, we get through the second round, and Brandon Aiyuk is a 49er. Like, that is my hope. That is what I want. Um, but I also just have to use my brain and just see how things are playing out, and understand that, listen, he could be traded. Doesn't mean he will. But all the signs are pointing to it's a possibility. So we just got to wait and see. And once we get through the draft, we'll be that much closer. But again, I know many of you are tired of the situation. I'll probably see some people yelling at me in the comments. But let me know what you guys think about how this impacts BA and his future in the comments below. And as always, make sure to like and subscribe for more updates.